Hello, welcome to day 5 of this incredible challenge of the 6 pillars of effective and permanent weight loss. I'm Lori Montry, certified Nuari method trainer, trauma-informed eating psychology coach. So in this challenge, we are really laying out the exact 6-part roadmap that's going to allow you to end emotional eating, develop a free and nourishing relationship with food, lose weight once and for all, feel good, reclaim your health. Okay, these are the exact pillars that I teach over the 8 months of my Freedom Program. This challenge is a roadmap, right, to help get awareness about the real steps that change your relationship with food and your life. Today's pillar is learning the beautiful, all-important life skill of learning to be aware of, honor, and process your emotions so that you no longer need to use food to cope with life and to soothe you. This pillar is not, it's about not even thinking about food, right? When you're bored or overwhelmed or lonely or sad, angry or anything else. It's not about learning to control yourself. It's about learning, it didn't occur to me to eat because I have other ways that I'm dealing with my emotions. Emotional eating, it really interferes with our health goals. You know, it brings so much shame, frustration, and oftentimes despair to the beautiful women that I work with. So if you're someone who reaches for food when you feel an emotion that's uncomfortable, this pillar is going to be really key for you. All of them are, but this one in particular. So let me say that emotional eating is not something you should feel guilty about or ashamed of. I did it for decades. Every person on the planet has turned to food at some point for safety and comfort. And it's actually a brilliant coping mechanism that you learn to do at some point in your young life. And let's be honest, on some level it works, but it doesn't match with the life you want for yourself. And so that's why we're here to figure out a better way. But you are not bad. You have nothing to be ashamed of. For most of us, our training with emotional eating began in infancy when we cried and we were offered the breast or the bottle to calm us down. It's easy to see how we were taught that food could settle us down, could help us deal with intense emotions and experiences. There were countless ways that this was taught and reinforced. Your brain learned that food could do so much more for you than stop the rumbling in your tummy. Overcoming emotional eating challenges involves understanding your relationship with your emotions, becoming aware of your patterns, learning how to process your emotions in ways that don't involve food. Now, there's a lot that goes into learning to do that, and this doesn't happen overnight, but it is entirely possible to only think about food when you're truly hungry and to stop eating when you're first satisfied. You can learn to sit in the emotions of anxiety, overwhelm, boredom, stress, loneliness, anger, or any other emotion and not turn to food. As one brilliant client said the other day, it's called, learning to sit in the void. And as you develop awareness around when and why you turn to food when you aren't hungry, I really encourage you, as I've said before, to always have on your scientific lab coat, adopt that attitude of, let's get curious about that. But understanding the needs and what's going on for you is in a non-judgmental way, right? It's got to be the first step in overcoming emotional eating. So now I'm going to give you in this video my top 3 tips to help with emotional eating, and then you're going to have a brilliant integration exercise. So first of all, realize the desire to eat food when you aren't hungry or to keep eating after you know that you're full is a signal from your soul that you are needing something. By simply acknowledging this, you can open the door to greater understanding. Most likely you're reaching for food to fill the void or avoid certain emotions that feel too awful to sit in. Recognize that you're simply trying to achieve an altered state in your nervous system, right? You're trying to return to your state of peace and calm through the changes that are brought about by food. Food changes your food chemistry. It stimulates the vagus nerve, which calms your nervous system. It makes sense. All right. Tip number 2 is to recognize that this is a normal, natural reaction of a habituated brain, like we've been talking about this week. You've used food so many times in the past that your habituated brain knows exactly what to do. It's doing it automatically because you trained it to do this. Your brain thinks it's doing you a favor. And just like you know how to step on the brake when you see a red light without thinking about it, you eat when you encounter certain emotions or in certain experiences because you have done it so many times. It's like the brain says, oh, here are those emotions. Don't worry. I'm going to robotically take us to the kitchen for food. You just go about your business. I got this, right? It's the beautiful efficiency of the brain that's leading you to be robotic in this moment. But if you take a moment and just really understand that it's only your brain and not you who wants the food, you're going to see this situation in a whole new way. You are not broken. You are not a hopeless addict. You do not have some flaw that you can't overcome. You just need some brain training and practice processing your emotions. Tip number 3 is to try to slow down when you're in a triggered situation and reconnect with your higher self, right? Your emotions before or even while you're turning to food, right? That's the biggest goal. That's the most important thing that you could be focused on, is connecting to yourself in those situations. Whether you're eating, whether you're not, this is the most important thing. Your goal is to get in touch with the thoughts and emotions when you get that urge to eat, okay? What often happens is we get that urge to eat and we switch into battle mode, right? We get frustrated, nervous, upset. We just want to shut down. And we're frustrated that we're eating again, and all of this heightens the stress response that we're already feeling. And in this case, right, we talked about it on day 1, our nervous system becomes even more activated, and our survival system is calling all the shots. The survival system, as you learn, does not want to hear about the other options for dealing with this moment. It wants to get you out of discomfort as soon as possible. Doesn't care how you're going to feel in 20 minutes. It's responsible for your survival right now. Okay? So the best thing we can do is relax about the food and take the focus off our behavior. Even though you don't want to continue using food long term, keeping yourself in the battle is only going to lead to more of the behavior that you don't want. So this brings us to today's integration suggestion. It's called the 2-minute pause. There's a lot to it and a lot of refinement that goes on to it as we work with it in the program, because everybody is at a little bit different place, and it's wonderful to be able to really focus on each person's individual experience with it. But I want to give that to you today to really start to help you. And the most important thing I want you to know is that it's not about control. It's about slowing down, taking the time to figure out what you're feeling, what you're thinking, right? I want you to download the integration work and really start to use this practice and see what it brings up for you. Now, if you're ready to really get support around this, I want to offer you those. I have several 15-minute laser coaching sessions that I'm offering free during these 6 days of the challenge. So I encourage you to get signed up for one of those so that I can support you and we can talk about, what is the one thing that I can do right now to really help shift me out of this challenge. After you use the 2-minute pause, get into the Facebook group. Post your reflections about it. Remember, we're a community. We're doing this together. We want to support each other. And whatever you're experiencing, many are experiencing the same thing. I hear all the time, people will ask me, like, are the other people that you work with as bad off as I am? Do they do these things? Have you ever worked with somebody as, challenged as me and had them be successful? And the answer is yes, 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 yes. We're all the same. And so you being in the Facebook group is getting yourself some support, and also really supporting this beautiful community of women who, I tend to attract truly incredible women who are ready for big transformation and change. And so I want to encourage you guys to get to know each other, and also I can help support you and guide you when you post in the Facebook group. So go ahead, get started on today's integration, and let me know how I can support and serve you as you go forward towards everything that you're wanting to create, especially freedom with food. Okay, I'll see you soon.